Yes, making Monaco wider. Just recreate the track, but as a purpose-built circuit. Just
Yes.
keep all the walls in the same place, and then you can expand it as needed.
It's lights, away we go!
I'm Tyler,
And I'm CJ.
and this is the Monaco Grand Prix review. All right. Was there any news? Did we have any news, or do we just want to skip news?
Mickey Mouse is gonna be like an F1 mascot or something. That's kind of stupid.
Boy, get Disney out of Formula One. We're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's just stupid. Incredibly surprised that. Yeah, I mean, I guess Disney is a big American company, but I don't know. Go with something better, like Costco or something. Costco would be a whole lot better. Yeah, get the Chick-fil-A cow as a mascot, not
Yes, Chick-fil-A.
stupid Mickey Mouse. That's dumb. Disney is way too political for those in America know. And we don't want F1's already political amongst itself. Its internal politics are already crazy. It doesn't need to have Disney's agenda behind it.
Yeah.
I think that's where we stand on that. So practices. Leclerc took every single one of them.
Yes, despite Stroll moving in front of Leclerc with the hairpin and letting Leclerc drive into the back of him. That was Stroll's Stroll right there. That was
Yes.
something.
We need a Stroll counter of the year starting now.
That's one.
So the Stroll counter goes up by 1 today.
Yep. Update the Discord.
All right. I will do that as soon as we finish this. It's gonna go up by more than 1 this episode though. What else happened in practice?
Let's see. Hamilton had a little spin himself. Yeah, I think it was pretty chill.
Few bumps. McLaren weren't showing as dominant a pace as they had been, but then they picked it up when they got to qualifying. But yeah, Oscar had a small bump at the wall, and I think that was it. Just general bumps. I mean, bound to happen on a one-lane course like Monaco.
Yeah.
If the cars get any bigger, then the Monaco is going to become unsafe. So that's why I'm glad.
I think the cars are getting smaller with the new regulations.
Yeah, the 2026 regs are making them smaller, but like barely. It's all in metric units. We need them in freedom units, but it's like in freedom units, it's like 2 or 3 inches narrower on each side, and then maybe a 1.5 feet shorter. I mean, they're nowhere near the size of like the 2010s and stuff, but which I do consider the 2010 to 2014. I think 2010 to 2013, because 2014 was the weird looking cars. Those who know, I do think 2010 to 2013 was like, I think, the peak looking and sounding F1 cars, because it was right before the last few seasons of the V10s. They just looked cool. They were fast. Bring that back.
Yeah, that was good. I personally like the naughty eras, especially where they sound, especially on the race starts. It sounds like a fleet of drones. It's glorious.
The loud, roaring V10s.
Yes.
And so now we have the whiny vacuum cleaners. All right, qualifying.
That was fun to watch. Better than the
Yes,
race.
it was. That was the race. Like, I got up and watched it like, great, I'm going to go watch the race. And I was right, because the podium didn't change. The big storyline going into qualifying, I don't think it's big, but Ollie Behrman had a 10-second grid penalty for basically being colorblind and forgetting the red flag existed.
Yes.
During FP2. So,
yeah.
Red flag came out, he just kept doing his lap.
Yep. And then pulled into the pits.
Yep.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. Okay, qualifying. Q1 was pretty standard. The Alpines were delusional and thought they could get through to Q2 on mediums, which the Alpine isn't fast enough to get into Q2 on softs, so why do they think they could do it on mediums?
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Yeah, the medium versus the soft was a very interesting juxtaposition. Some drivers were doing pretty good lap times on the mediums versus the softs. It was just That was really an interesting qualifying session for sure.
Yeah, so Q1 went about as everyone would expect. Alpines and Saubers in the drop zone, and then Ollie Behrman ended up back there anyway. I mean, I think he qualified P19 on the road, so the grid penalty didn't matter that much. Q2, the Mercedes decided to give up George Russell's power unit giving out in the tunnel, and Kimi just running into the wall in turn 10.
Yep. Rookie
At the
mistake
Duville
and
chicane.
unfortunate technical issue, and it ruined their whole weekend.
Yep. Being stuck behind the midfields. Let me look at the qualifying order real quick. Yeah, that was the big storyline of Q2. Very shocking that both the Mercedes. George Russell's engine decided to follow George Russell and do nothing. So qualifying
this time, George Russell
result.
actually had to do something.
Yeah, and then I guess Nico Hulkenberg had made it in to Q2, which I mean that's nothing super surprising. It is cool that he ended up in 13th, which I think that might be like his second highest qualifying all year, but only because both Mercedes gave out, taking up 14th and 15th. Yuki Tsunoda was 12th, which was a little lower than his average, and Sainz took 11th, also a little lower.
Yeah.
I mean, with Albon in 10th, Williams they were out of their normal 6th and 7th, which I guess the Williams does not take low speed corners as well as I guess the RB did.
Yeah, Williams. That's probably disappointing for Williams because they've been running really well and really strong the past couple weekends.
Yeah,
and
but
now,
Monaco is a completely different track than what we've been running.
Yeah, and it's a completely different race.
Yes.
Very unique. Williams still fifth in the team standings by a lot.
Yeah, and Albon's only 7 points away from passing Kimi Antonelli in the driver's standing.
Yep.
So Albon, and like this is round 8, correct?
Let me check. Yeah, this is the 8th race of the year.
In the first 8 races on like the pass in 2022, 2023, and 24, Albon scored like a combined maybe 5 points across those 3 seasons. He has scored 42 in the first 8 this season alone. So the Williams has picked it up tremendously.
Yes.
Liam Lawson, that's the highest. That's the first time he's been in Q3 since he kicked out Max Verstappen back in Singapore 2023. Ocon got his Haas up there. Good for him. And then Fernando.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
Aston Martin's picking it up a little bit. Fernando
Yes.
in Q3 for the second week in a row, finishing qualifying 7th. Isaac Hadjar, a pretty surprising 6th, and then the top 5 was, as you would expect, the 2 McLarens, the 2 Ferraris, and Max.
And more proof that Lance Stroll does not belong on the team because he's being outqualified by his teammate by quite a good bit.
Yes, it was 9/10 of a second. Alonso was in 7th.
Very embarrassing.
Really strong pole lap from Lando. I guess Lando deserves an award for not bottling this race in some way. He had a good pole lap. He almost did. He locked up on the first corner on the first lap.
That was something.
But held it.
Yeah.
So good job, Lando, for not messing the race up.
I mean, getting pole is practically winning. You'd have to do something really bad to not lose
win.
when you have pole in Monaco.
You either have to be Charles Leclerc or do something really bad.
Yes.
Leclerc was in 2nd, Oscar 3rd, Lewis 4th, and then Max Verstappen 5th. So that was qualifying. Excuse me, that was the race. All right, now on to the 78 formation laps that happened on Sunday that everyone says is a spectacle, but really it just wastes a grid slot on the calendar when we could have Hockenheim back or something.
Yes.
Or Istanbul.
Those are great tracks.
Yeah, get rid of Miami and bring back something good.
Yeah, I mean, for Monaco, we can't take it off because it has to be there. That would deprive a lot of people of their party. So we're going to let the celebrities get their party back, keep their party with Monaco.
Yeah, or if one could, instead of spending $500 million buying land on the Las Vegas Strip, they could spend $500 million building more land in Monaco to make the roads bigger. I mean, in all reality, that's a completely implausible thing to do, but it's fun to think about.
Yes, making Monaco wider. Just recreate the track, but as a purpose-built circuit. Just keep all the walls in the same place, and then you can expand it as needed.
Yes. There's plenty of like undeveloped spots around. I mean, there's plenty of This is a good idea. I'm gonna work on this. Find a spot where we could rebuild Monaco just wider and have a giant lake and build a luxury hotel there or something so other celebrities could get their party and pretend to care about Formula One.
Yeah.
That is a brilliant idea. That's what we're doing. We're gonna create a petition for F1 to rebuild the Monaco track as a purpose-built circuit, just wider. That's what we're doing. That's great. Brilliant idea. All right, let's actually discuss the 78 formation laps.
That was boring.
Lap 1, we already mentioned Lando locked up in the first corner, but everything was okay. He did not crash.
Yeah.
Then at the hairpin, we had Bortoletto taking both a smart and a rookie move, trying to go around the outside and actually trying to overtake, but quickly realizing you can't do that at Monaco by running into the wall right before the tunnel. And then, of course, doing what all the rookies do, imitating all of the other F1 drivers and complaining on the radio that it's the other driver's fault every time something happens.
Yep, and that's about the standard. That's Formula One.
Yeah, they could be have a 10-second gap on either side of them. Be like Nicholas Latifi in
more like Roman Grosjean.
Silverstone 2020.
It's more like Roman Grosjean crashing under safety car and complaining that he was hit by Magnussen.
Yeah, or the time I think it was the British Grand Prix 2022, Latifi just forgot the layout of the track and blamed it on the car. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Yeah, F1 drivers will blame anything on anything. But he was able to bring it back. Good for Bortoletto. It caused a VSC, right?
Yeah, it was VSC.
Caused a VSC. Well, we got the first round of pit stops, so if the 2 pit stop rule wouldn't have happened, then we would have just done the same thing as last year. Everybody puts on the hards and runs the whole race on.
Yeah, so I guess that is a benefit.
But props to him for bringing it back, though.
Finished 14th on the day. That is a very good deal. 2 laps down, but who cares? Only 5 cars were on the lead lap when all was said and done anyway. So
that's because those 5 are so much faster than everybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody below 9th was just stuck in the Williams train, so
yeah,
of course that happened. And the next big thing was Gasly just completely running over Yuki, using him as a springboard and breaking his front left suspension, and then, as tradition, blaming it on Yuki, even though it was Gasly's fault for not braking into Nuba.
Right. You gotta brake. Gotta use the brakes.
But again, props to him for dragging it back to the pit lane and avoiding a safety car miraculously.
Right. How was there not a safety car?
If a safety car, I think the FIA,
the safety car did come out eventually.
Yeah. I think the stewards were.
No, there wasn't a safety car. There was just double yellows, and Max Verstappen almost got in trouble for speeding, for going fast into yellows again.
Dang. I think the stewards were. I think their thought process was they didn't want to throw another safety car VSC because then everyone would just pit for their second and get their second pit stop out of the way.
Yeah, that was true.
I think that was their general thought process, and that they didn't want to have the second stops done so early because it was only on lap 9.
Yes.
And then we had as the first actual stops come around, we see the few teams taking advantage of Monaco's lack of passing, as Aston Martin did last year. Lawson driving deliberately slow so that Hadjar could pit. I think Williams did a similar thing, driving incredibly slow because no one can pass, to give a gap to the teammate so the teammate can pit. Yeah. That's what made George Russell so angry.
Crossley mentioned that we should just ban blue flags and let the traffic fight it out, because that would then back cars into one another. And I think that would be good, because letting the traffic go by just creates some drama. If we let the leader get slowed up by lap traffic, then that would create battles for the lead. And I think that would be very helpful. Like we have in
every other racing series.
Yes.
Both Indy and NASCAR. Let the leaders fight it out amongst the lapped cars.
Yes, especially true in the 500 this week.
Yes, go listen to that episode.
Yes, getting rid of blue flags would be very helpful in making F1
I agree.
Much more entertaining.
I agree. Max Verstappen at this point in the race was bored. We know he was bored because he started complaining about something about the car.
Yes.
That's when Sky Sports is bored, they talk about rain. When Max is bored, he complains about something about the car, usually his tires, but this time it was his shifting.
Yep. He gets bored a lot then. He complains about his shifting a lot. It's a lot. He does it a lot. Yeah, that's his favorite thing to complain about.
Yeah, then Fernando has a power unit failure and just coasts perfectly down the escape road, much to the dismay of everybody who wanted a safety car.
Yeah, Nando is so unlucky. It's unreal how unlucky he is. He qualifies in the top 10 in Monaco and still fails to score his first points of the year. It's incredible.
Yeah. I think he is solo leading the most DNFs right now. I think he's at 3, being Australia, China, and now here.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Nando.
Yeah, then I think we'll
Only it happened
ended
to
up.
Stroll.
If only. Wish. I guess. I mean, the race was again just a big parade laps, just 2 stops instead of 1. I think we'll ended up talking about the Russell penalty, as controversial as it was. I'm gonna read y'all a direct quote from the FIA here on why it was a drive-through instead of a 5-second like Russell was saying. It would have been. There's a direct quote from the FIA. It was clear from the radio message where he said that he would, quote, take the penalty, unquote, that the overtake was done deliberately as he felt he was being held up by car 23, Alex Albon, driving erratically. Anticipating that situations such as this might happen at this Monaco Grand Prix, all teams were informed before the race by the race director at the steward's request that the stewards would look carefully at deliberate leaving of the track at turn 10 to overtake a car or a train of slow cars. That communication also made it clear that the guideline penalty of 10 seconds may be insufficient for this deliberate infringement and that the penalty applied may be greater than 10 seconds. We therefore considered that car 63's, George Russell, deliberate infringement warranted a drive-through penalty. So that's the FIA's stance on stuff, which honestly, I kind of have to agree with him. I hate to agree with the FIA on anything.
I do too, but the FIA is correct. However,
honestly, I agree with him there.
Felt that he could take a penalty, and that means that the penalty system needs to change because we can't have drivers taking penalties left and right. Because, I mean, if you think about it, on lap 1, you could just cut the chicane, gain 7 positions, and with the way the race unfolds, you could still keep those positions. You could still probably finish in the points because you could finish 30 seconds ahead of someone else.
Yeah, you bring up a valid point there.
Even if you have a drive-through. And Russell almost came out in front of Sainz when he took his drive-through penalty and Sainz took his pit stop. It nearly prevented the Williams from being able to switch their cars. So it needs to be...
ended up, just not doing anything.
What is it?
It ended up not having the effect the stewards would have liked because he still finished in 11th.
Right. Didn't even affect his position.
Which is where it was running anyway.
And he didn't even care whether he finished 11th or didn't finish at all. Because it's... Oh, no. It's all 0 points anyway.
Yeah, that's why I want the rumored proposal of extending points to 12 teams, or extending points to 12 positions to be officially added, because that'd make even a whole lot more sense now that Cadillac's joining the grid next year.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. So overall, I agree with the FIA on this penalty, but the penalty system needs an overhaul. That's our consensus.
Immediate give up a track position immediately. And yeah. Or make it a drive-through every time, like NASCAR and IndyCar. That would make them not break the rules.
Yeah, no 5-10 second penalties. Everything is either you go to the back for a restart, which I guess that kind of only works in NASCAR.
Because restarts never happen in one.
Yeah.
They're never safety cars. It's boring. Or
right.
So it's really just drive. I would limit it to drive-through and stop and goes.
Honestly, you have a fair point there, I think.
Which is why Russell is my over for the week, because I'm protesting. I'm protesting
over
the penalty
for a
system.
protest.
I'm and I like the clever move from Russell.
It was gutsy to do it, and I did laugh at it, so I understand there. My over, I'm going to go Ollie Behrman. Driving from 20th to 12th is really good, especially on Monaco. He's showing a pattern of doing this, starting in the very back and then driving up to the points. He did it in Bahrain too, so I'm really looking forward to see what he can do, especially if he gets in a better car.
Yeah, Ollie Behrman is a stud. He'll get there one day.
Yes, he will. I said Russell just because of the drive-through. I respect him for trying to do that, but he had to do something, and he couldn't do something, so his doing nothing P3 routine is over. I think it's the first time he's finished outside the top 6 all season, so
Oh, he's been on a bit of a slump lately.
Russell's consistent streak is gone.
Yeah,
So that's why he's
he's had
under.
2 bad races in a row, really. First at Imola and now Monaco. At
Yep.
Monaco, he really had a bad qualifying. I think my under is probably going to be Tsunoda because he had that pit stop early and he had the undercut potential, but nothing really came of it. So that's unfortunate for him. And he didn't score points in the second Red Bull. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen is contending for podium.
Yeah, definitely. One other thing I wanted to discuss was, do we think the mandatory 2 pit stops, do we think it was beneficial to the race?
I think it would have been beneficial had there been less teamwork happening. I think if there wasn't so much teamwork and like manufacturing the race results, then I think it would have been better. But I think because there's a lot of team play happening, it really just prevented all of that from happening. It really put a cap on the action. So I think maybe if we do what NASCAR does and ban teamwork, I think that would make it a lot better.
I don't want to ban teamwork because now NASCAR also doesn't give out a trophy for the best team. So team play is integral to Formula One. I don't think we need to ban that. I think James Vowles said something because
I didn't think about that.
Because James Vowles and Zach Brown are cool, they go on and talk to Crofty in the middle of the race. And James Vowles was like, when Crofty was asking him about like driving slow and stuff, James Vowles was like, if they're going to put in a 2 pit stop rule, then this is how we're going to play it. I think having a single pit stop in a regular race, yeah, that's good. I don't think mandating 2 pit stops for Monaco that's not the way to fix it.
Yeah, it had potential. It just didn't turn out to be the way.
Yeah, it's putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
Yeah, I think really the best way is to rebuild the track as a purpose-built circuit somewhere else and just make it wider.
Yeah, 20 feet wide.
Yes. Actually make it within the FIA's track standards. I mean, there's nothing else like that track, and it's amazing to watch.
Yes.
But the action is beyond boring. There's not a word to describe how boring it is.
The track's like about 10... It's about 11 yards, freedom units. It's about 11 yards wide in most spots, so why don't we make it like 20 yards wide so we can go 3 wide through the Nouvelle Chicane? Yes, the only way to fix Monaco is make it a purpose-built track.
Yeah, or just make it rain all the time. Just like literally make artificial rain so that the track is perpetually wet and the drivers will be sliding off and hitting the wall all the time. That would be the next best thing.
There's a small unfounded conspiracy theory that Lawrence Stroll did that to cancel Imola in 2023. It's so stupid, but it's kind of funny that Lawrence Stroll was pouring chemicals into the sky to make it rain at Imola so Mercedes would introduce their upgrades a race later.
Brother.
It was so stupid, but so funny. Anyway, I'll give the race. We're gonna give it a 1 out of 10 because it's Monaco, and we don't like Monaco.
Monaco is muy malo for any Spanish speakers out there.
Yeah, we don't like Monaco. The end. Yeah. Anything else for this week?
Yeah, no, it's Monaco. Nothing much happens.
Nobody likes Monaco. The end. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed what you heard, please be sure to follow or subscribe depending on your platform. Join the Discord linked in the show description. Check out our... this is one of 3 races for this Triple Crown. This is one of 3 races for this Crown Jewel weekend of motor racing. Go check out our reviews of the Indy 500, which was absolutely epic, and the Coke 600, which started slow but got good at the end. So thank you all for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.